Hello, friends. Cowboy Jobu here with the Jobu Sports Report. And as always, thank you guys for liking, commenting, and subscribing to the Jobu Sports Report. Damn, I wish somebody would get me a haircut. This hair is getting to be a little crazy. Anyway, I want to thank you guys because tonight we have hit 7,000 subscribers. And that means I'm thanking you. You get the picture. I'm thanking all of you guys. Now, let's go to the tape from NFL Network with Jason Garrett having an awkward moment about Tony Romo. Let's go to the tape.
Lost sacks and QB hurries in 2016. Our Bucky Brooks has the talented defensive end going 28th overall to the Cowboys in his latest mock draft. We sent Mooch and Melissa to sit down with head coach Jason Garrett to talk his draft strategy, Zeke, and of course, the future of Tony Romo.
You said you have not spoken to Tony Romo since the end of the season. I mean, quarterback to quarterback. How could that be?
What?
Yeah, I just haven't, I don't talk to a lot of the players this time of year.
But he's the quarterback
Yeah.
for like 100 years. He was there before you.
Wait.
So, you haven't talked to him?
Moose wants to FaceTime him.
We're FaceTime.
This is the prop you're talking
This is
about.
the
We're going to FaceTime Tony right now. Tony, answer the phone,
I don't
will
know
you?
what he's gonna
We have your
answer. What
coach
did he
here.
say?
You haven't talked to him? Do you text him? Come on.
He's waiting to see if he's going to pick you up. This is the true test.
If he
Will
picks
Tony
me up-
pick up? He's unavailable.
Tony.
Officially unavailable.
You like that one? I was trying to, hook you guys up. You ought to talk to him
Yeah.
once in a while, don't you think?
Okay, but in all seriousness, though, right? With Romo, what is your hope for him at this point?
Well, personnel decisions are challenging. All personnel decisions are challenging. It's hard to decide what you think is the best decision for your football team going forward. It's particularly challenging in a situation like Tony Romo. He's been a great quarterback for us, a great player, a great person for our organization for the last 10 years. And his situation this year was very challenging.
Romo has to step up. He is hammered and he is hurt. Every Dallas Cowboy fan holds his breath.
He was ready to have a great year for us. He gets hurt, and then Dak goes in there and plays, and it really plays at a high level, and our team wins a lot of games. So
Didn't you think he handled like a champion?
Yeah.
It was incredible.
he did an amazing job working to get back, and then understanding what the situation was when he was healthy, and did a great job privately in our locker room, did a great job publicly with his press conference, and then had to get himself acclimated to a different role, being a backup quarterback, and he worked very hard at that as well.
Have you guys had heart-to-hearts about that?
Absolutely. We had a lot of conversations throughout that process, and certainly once he came back, and it was not easy for him, but he handled it really well.
Yeah. Well, let's talk about the guys who replaced him with Dak.
It's a touchdown. How about the rookie quarterback, Dak Prescott?
What a year he had.
Yeah, what we were excited about really throughout was once we got him in our building, it's like, wow, there's something to this guy. And we had gotten great feedback from everybody down at Mississippi State. They did such a good job with him. He was such an accomplished player on the field and did so much for that program, but everybody talked so glowingly about him off the field, his leadership, his poise, his composure. And then we got a chance to see that right from the start, rookie minicamp. And then how he handled himself with the rookies, and then when the veterans came in, and then through training camp in the preseason. Every hurdle that was put in front of him, he just handled. So at that point, Tony got hurt. You were wondering if he could do it, and again, he stepped up and answered the bell
Right
every
away in the
time.
preseason, he played well.
He
Boom.
played great.
Do you sit him down, Jason, and say, all right, listen, you had a great year. You took the league by storm. But listen, stay focused on football. Don't be accepting 14 different endorsements and too many things that might distract you from your routine. Do you have that conversation?
Well, absolutely, and I think to a certain extent that stuff had to happen. Those conversations had to happen during the year, too.
Yeah.
Because it's a long year. When you have some success, every Monday morning they write the history of the NFL. And sometimes you can get caught up in that. And I thought those guys did a really good job staying focused day to day, week to week, and you certainly have to do that year to year and understand what we're trying to get accomplished.
Did you graded that whole film? Did you see that last play that the Packers ran?
Oh, I saw it.
I mean, like, look at this. I wrote it down there, Melissa. Look at this guy. You got to put this in. You got to put this in. This guy White said it and invited the rush, and he pinned the guy, and he pulled the guard out here, and they spun him out here. It was a big-time play. If I were coaching, if I get back into, like, high school coaching, I'm putting this thing in because that makes a lot of sense. It's like a dash play.
Jason, that is the first time Mooch has gotten out of his chair
Yeah.
all week.
Are you guys going to put this in?
And the
Here,
circles are pretty good too.
Not bad. That's coming up the back door. That's not. I didn't forget how to do circles.
But they did a great job, and that guy who represents that circle can really throw the ball.
All right, good. Hey,
Great to see you
great
guys.
job. Thanks.
Thanks for the props. They were outstanding.
I got,
Incredible.
you want to call Tony again?
13 wins for the Dallas Cowboys in 2016. They don't have a lot of holes. Obviously, the biggest offseason question for us laymen is what's going to happen to Tony Romo. From a football standpoint, as far as what the Cowboys are most concerned about, what is their biggest question?
I think it's, they've got 18 free agents right now that they've got to figure out. They can't sign them all. Jason Garrett said
they don't have any money to sign them all.
They got the least amount of money in the whole NFL, right? So somewhere around $3 million, however they restructure contracts. But I think there's two priority free agents that they've got to re-sign. Barry Church, the safety, along with Brandon Carr, the corner. I mean, there's other guys out there. J.J. Wilcox, you'd like to have him back, Mo Claiborne. But I think Church, along with Byron Jones, that's a good safety combination. Brandon Carr can play the press coverage for Rod Marinelli. I think those are two priority free agents they got to really try to figure out how to re-sign.
I think on the front end, defensively, they've got to get some pass rushers. Jack Crawford's a free agent. Brandon Gregory's still watching Puff the Magic Dragon. I think when you look at the fact that they lost that game against Green Bay, it was because of one reason. They couldn't, at the end of the game, even with 30 seconds left,
any pass
they couldn't get pressure on that guy right there. And you lose that game. I mean, look, Dak Prescott led them down on a game-winning drive. The game should have been over, but the defense couldn't get off the field. Granted, it was a three-man rush on that last play of the game, but this D-line,
Mayora was the leading sacker. It was 6 last year.
Yeah.
They just didn't have that one lead dog that could get after the quarterback.
David Irving, he's done a good job. He's stepping in, but they need some help.
And that's what you've heard Jerry Jones talk about so far this offseason, that he wants to get a what he calls a war daddy to bring in, which is that big pass rusher guy.
And they can maybe do it. Maybe a Romo trade brings them a defensive player, like a Muhammad Wilkerson from the Jets. I'm just throwing that out there.
Maybe. The finances are interesting, though, as you brought up. Only $3 million plus in cap space. That's roughly $100 million less than the Browns have to work with this offseason. So
did you say
they have
$100
some.
million?
Unfortunately, I did. Yeah, $1 million. Still ahead, Aaron.